Welcome to my school, E.B. Ellington Elementary. I am the Advanced Studies Kindergarten teacher here. So I'm the Advanced Studies Kindergarten teacher at my school called E.B. Ellington. And I've been at my school last year, and this is my second year completing teaching. I got offered the job at the very end of July, and it was actually for another school, C.C. Blaney. And then they decided to move that school within E.B. Ellington. So there's a lot of changes right before school started. So by the time I moved down here, I had like a week to move, and then I had about 2 days to set up my classroom. So now it's like an advanced studies program within our school. And like I said, it's my second year. One thing that was kind of surprising last year, I'd always heard about teachers getting their jobs last minute and having to set their classrooms really quick. So I was prepared for that. But one part I wasn't really prepared for is the curriculum. Since I was the advanced studies teacher, I wasn't supposed to be following the same curriculum as kindergarten. It was supposed to be a little more rigorous. So it was a little hard and eye-opening to think about creating my curriculum from starting with nothing and making it fit for this advanced studies program. But I used Teachers Pay Teachers and used the other teachers in my school as resources, and it's worked out well. And now we're at Miss Mary's school, Marie Lassay.
When I first moved down here, I didn't have a job. I started out nannying, and then I got an interview in September, and I took a job late into the school year. It was interesting. I had a situation where all of my kids were all in a different class before, and then the kids were handpicked into my room. So I had lots of behavior problems. There was lots of tears that year. But then I had a friend at my school that knew the Montessori guru, I guess, for Charleston County, and I got in contact with her, and that's how I found my new job at Marie Lassay, and I absolutely love my job. So if you are in a position for your first year that you're not happy with, or it's a struggle, don't lose hope and don't give up, because you might end up somewhere that you love.
So Mary, what brought you to the Palmetto State?
Well, since you asked, Meredith, I always knew that I wanted to teach somewhere out of Cincinnati and leave after college. So when I was back where y'all are right now in senior seminar, I heard of a job fair down here in Charleston. So I decided to take a weekend trip and come to the job fair, and the rest is history.
Meredith Botkin, what brought you down to sunny South Carolina?
Well, Mayor, similar to Mayor. I came down here a lot because my family used to live in Charleston. And when I graduated college, I just grew up in Cincinnati, went to school in Cincinnati. So after graduation, I was ready for something new. And I'd heard Mary talking class about how she was applying for jobs here. So Charleston County School District actually recruited at the job fair that you all probably had that was at XU. So I met with somebody there, and they told me about a job fair down here in May. It was like May 9th. And I went to it, and I just fell in love with Charleston, and I knew that is where I wanted to be.
Teaching in Charleston is so easy.
Yeah, for the 10 weeks during the summer.
Here's some tips and insight on how to survive the rest of the year.
One thing I would keep in mind when you set up your classroom is a small group area. So last year I had a desk in this area, and then this year I just completely got rid of it, and I just use this kidney table as my teacher area. So this is my small group reading area. And then over here I also have my classroom library. So I have all of the books organized by level. And then on top I have my small group books that I use during my guided reading. My assistant also has her own small group table so that she can pull small groups during reader's workshop, writer's workshop, or really any activity that we're doing. One of the great things about kindergarten is having an assistant, especially when she's awesome like mine. Say hi, Miss Fryer.
Hi!
And when your assistant is super creative. Look at that cute board for the Bumblebee classroom. One thing I started using this year is numbers for each student. I didn't do this last year, and it made it very hard when you lost a student or you got a new student and you had their name on everything and you had to change it. So this year I use numbers, and each student has a number that matches up with their mailbox, their cubby, and then on their back of their chair. Like I know Mr. Salino has taught you, one of the most important things is having good classroom management. If you don't build that classroom community at the beginning, it can be a really long year. One thing I use for classroom management is responsive classroom. So we start every day with a greeting, and then I choose an activity that helps to build team building. Each student also has their own job every day, and they love feeling like they're an important part of the classroom. I am obsessed with using anchor charts, and then for each unit I hang up the anchor charts that we worked on, and then we also build to our math wall and our vocabulary wall throughout the year. And then it really helps your students become independent learners because they're able to refer back to these walls and use the information to help them throughout the year. So this is my workroom, and it's a little messy, but it's where I keep all the students' data binders. So each student has their own data binder, and I keep writing assessments throughout the year, their online map data, and then I also keep any parent notes or any behavior communication forms that go home. One thing that's super important in your classroom is organization. You want everything labeled and organized so that kids and you can find everything. So going along with staying organized, you'll definitely want to start your organization system early and keep hard copies of everything. I know Google Drive's awesome and you can keep everything on there, but I also like to have a hard copy because then I can organize it and it's easy just to take out one and go run copies. So I have all the different units that we do, and I keep all the information in each file folder. And then I also keep a folder for each holiday so that when we do different events for the holidays, there's one for each one, and I keep books inside the file folders as well. So that I have a read aloud for Christmas and Martin Luther King Day and activities to do. And that saves a lot of time as you continue to organize it and your units grow. I also love using file folders to organize my books. So right now I have these books organized by genre. And so it helps me to find a book really easily and to keep them in good condition if you're not going to keep them out on the shelves. So now we're at Marie Lassane, which is where Miss Mary teaches. Marie Lassane is a Montessori school on James Island. So this is her classroom. Say hi, Miss Mary.
In Montessori, we have multi-age classrooms. This classroom is a 3 to 6-year-old classroom. I have 4 3-year-olds in here, 7 4-year-olds, and I have 11 kindergarten 5 to 6-year-olds.
Now I am.
Oh, tap your toe. Okay, so Montessori schooling is a lot different than traditional schooling, but there are some things that are the same. Like our classroom rules that we make, we call ours our classroom peace agreement because Montessori is a lot about peace education. Something that I found helpful about adding to our peace agreement is having the children sign it with a fingerprint so they can take ownership over the classroom rules. In Montessori, all lessons are given to individual children and they all work at their own work mats at their own pace. So the only time I give a full group lesson is once in the morning when we first get here, and then once at the end of the day we do a closing circle or a culture lesson, and everything else is pretty much one-on-one. In my classroom, we use strictly manipulatives to learn. This is our math shelf. The first row is all about numeration, so learning their numbers 1 through 10. This is usually what I try to get my 3-year-olds through by the end of the school year. Our second shelf through is linear counting, where they're learning their team numbers and how to count from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, all the way through 100. And then the bottom is where I try to get my 5-year-olds to go before they move on to first grade. And that's going to be intro to the decimal system, where they're going to learn their place value, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, squaring, and cubic numbers. So through experience, I learned that read-alouds are a great way to bring the class back together and kind of settle them. These are a few of my favorite read-alouds, kids.
This is our favorite beach, Folly Beach. It's about 10 minutes from Mary's school.
Welcome to our house. Just kidding, we're still on a teacher's salary. Actually, we make less in South Carolina than Ohio. So if you're gonna move somewhere, make sure you check out how much you're gonna make.
Be friends with the cafeteria guy. Because he will give you free snacks.
It's already cold. The sand's already freezing. It's freezing. Stop! Taurus. The ocean in March. It's freezing.
But it's definitely not as cold as Cincinnati. Sorry guys. How cold is it? Like 30?
It's like 70 here. It's freezing.
So one thing about moving away is you usually don't know anybody.
so you don't have people to videotape weird stuff like this for you. So Mary's making her own stand here at Folly for us to put on the videotape on.